You are listening to a piece of the Salasin.10 podcasterium. You are listening to a piece of the Salasin.10 podcasterium.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to thank Monsters Technologies, who is so kind and host us here with a nice venue and food. For those who don't know, Monsters they built a CV website for job searching, and it's a great company to work for. Do you work on the Python stack?
No, we don't have a Python stack. Mostly .NET.
.NET stack.
C# and
C#.
there is some work that we do on AWS that we use for AWS.
Yeah. So cloud technologies are using .NET on AWS. So if you want to look for job opportunities, you can talk to Rasta. So okay, I'll hand over the speech to Erica.
Cheers. Yeah. Name's Green or Orange. Whichever. So my background, I've been doing Python for the past 2 years, and I find the language very, very powerful, and that's why I'm looking at it myself to learn it now. So show of hands, who's programming? I can't see. Okay. Who's total beginner? Okay, not bad. Not too bad actually. Okay, who's new to Python altogether? Might struggle. So if you have questions, just raise your hand or just shout your questions so that I don't get you lost too soon. Okay. So make sure you have installed Jupyter Notebook. We'll be using Jupyter Notebook for our workshop today. And you have downloaded the materials. Everybody downloaded? Anybody hasn't? Okay, very good. Right. My name is Yuli. As I said, I'm from Lumpur, Singapore. And today we'll be doing data scraping. So what is data scraping? It's known as all these names: web scraping, screen scraping, data mining, web housing. As long as you are getting data from the internet, we call it data scraping, right? And basically,
Sorry.
alright, okay, can you hear me? Right? It's okay. Yeah.
Hello. Sorry.
Okay, can you hear me better? Alright. Yes, where was I? Yes, data scraping. So why do we need data scraping? So, yeah, to gather and process large amounts of data, anything we need to get out of the internet. Sorry, my head is a little bit. Okay. Anything we need out of the internet, we want to get a script to download it for us. We don't want to do it manually, and that's why we want to code. Anything that is text information, even images, all these are considered data scraping. Yeah. How do we do that? First, we want to retrieve the data. Then when we retrieve the data, usually it's in whatever form it is, whether it's a web page or in a file. Then we want to parse the data for the target information and then store it before we move on to another page and repeat the process. Automation. So the agenda for today, we'll just do the first three: URL lead, file download, and APIs. I'll give you an introduction to URL lead. And yep. Okay. So you have downloaded. Anybody don't know how to launch your Jupyter Notebook? Everybody got this page?
Yeah.
Okay. All good? No hands up, so I assume everybody's okay? So let's start.
Starting up the server.
Pardon?
Starting up the server. The Jupyter Notebook server.
Okay. Tell me when you are ready.
We have some mentors around. If you are having trouble, just raise your hand.
Okay. Everybody must have Python 3. Otherwise, you'll get a bit lost. Do not use Python 2. The reason why is that for URL lead, Python 3 has changed a lot since Python 2. It's not backwards compatible. Okay? And in Python 3, these are the 4 packages that is subdivided into. We won't be using robot parser. We just look at request, error, and parse. Okay? Everybody have this? Alright. Oh, you're shaking your head. Are you okay? Did you launch it? So, Anaconda, you launched it, right?
Yes. Oh, downloaded the repository.
Launched, okay.
Then you go look. Oh, then you go
Once you launch,
and then you here, you have to go to the desktop.
you'll get this page. Basically, you need to navigate to where you have downloaded
Desktop
the data scraping
and all the folders.
GitHub. Go to notebooks, scraping. You'll find this.
Okay, when you click here, when you click desktop, you see here on the desktop, right? So you click desktop and look for the folder.
Okay? Yes? Directory where you have downloaded it, wherever you placed it, go to notebooks, scraping, 1_scraping. Got it? Oh, okay. Alright. Okay. Continue. So we have request, error, and parse. Request, basically you need to send, that's how internet works, right? You send a request, you receive your page request. So this is Jupyter Notebook. For those who don't know, you see something like this, do a shift enter. The code cell, just do a shift enter. This is quite big. Once you run the cell, you see a number 1 next to it. That means this is the first cell that is run. And subsequently, you get 2, 3, 4, whatever, right? So how do we actually simulate the browser? Whenever we send a HTML request, we want to simulate receive whatever information that we requested. So we do a URL lib request, import URL open. Whatever page, just go ahead and just get the URL and URL open the URL. Then you have a page. Simple as? Okay. Just in case you don't get any errors, you want to use a with, right? So if you print it as the code, you see a much prettier format. Okay? So every time you know the internet will go down at some point, right? Errors will happen. That's why you need to anticipate all these errors. Very simply, 404, 500 server error. These are the very typical errors that you see. So let's try this again. This time we import URL lib request as R so that I don't have to type as much. We change the URL address to a different one. And let's see, we will have an error 403 forbidden. This is one of the most common errors you will get when you are using Python to do web scraping. Why? Because if you don't do anything to your request, very simply, most of these websites will basically stop robots from basically pinging their sites and overloading their sites. So this is what they do. They need a simple browser authentication to say that yes, you are not a robot before they will let you get whatever information it is. So what do? We add a user agent. And you can check this by looking at robots.txt. So let's give that a try, alright? Okay, so if we have, let's say this here. We don't need Singapore, right? We can go for Kuala Lumpur. Oh, sorry. Just go to don't go to the page itself. Go to the base URL, robots.txt. And you'll see what they actually require to make sure that you are not a robot. This here, it says that you need your user agent. Otherwise, you will disallow. Simple as what we do, we just add a user agent. Request, add header, user agent, and now you can read it. No more error. Alright?
Okay.
Like so. Okay? So this is another library. I'm just gonna see it from now on. Okay. This is a different library called the request library. So this library, it takes care of all these basic user agents, headers for you, so you don't have to worry about it. So if you want quick and simple, I would definitely recommend this library. So quickly just install the library if you do a pip install request, or if you are using Conda, you can do a Conda install request, or pip3 if you have different versions of Python. Alright. Okay. Once you have downloaded, just need to run. Then you can run this import request library, and straight away you can get it straight away by using a get and pass in the URL. That's it. So what we did just now in 4 lines, we just did in one simple request. Okay?
Right.
And that's it.
Okay.
Okay, any questions? Not necessarily, it's up to you. It's really up to your personal preference. It's just exactly the same. It's they do it at the backend for you, that's it. They wrap it up in the library for you. I use the second way all the time, so don't worry about it. Yes? I can't hear you.
I've got the same file open, but I don't have any outputs. So I use balance, brackets, and brackets.
Did you run exactly the same steps as I did? You run through every single cell?
Oh, do I have to press run?
Yes, you have to run every single cell.
Yeah, I remember actually. The whole thing is like that.
Okay?
Yeah, I already used this in production.
Alright. Next, we will look at something more. Let's go download the file. Next, we'll download the file from data.gov.my. I mean, Malaysia government is trying to do open data, but as you can see, their dengue data, I think, is quite outdated, but we'll see. Okay, alright. So same thing, We'll import the library, set the paths. You want to save it as my_dengue.xls.
Oh, where does this file go?
And this here, if you don't have data folder, you might want to create that folder first. Let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, then we try. Okay, so very simply, because we use this request, we just need to download the file. How do I get this link? Right, this is data.gov.my. This here, right click, copy link, and that's it. Right, this is a link to download. This is where you put the link. And you retrieve. And that's it. Now let's take a look. Data. And there you go. Alright?
Yay.
Sorry.
Oh, I need to configure open office.
Okay. Next, let's try a slightly different way. It's the same. Let's take a look. Just here, get this link. Right? Put it here. And now, because as we said just now, sometimes they need a header. Make sure it's not a robot before you are allowed to download the file. And done. Now we have the zip file. Slightly different is that because this is zip, we want to save it as a byte object. Do a WB. Okay? Questions? Robots. Internet robots. So some people, how they spam people is they just use a robot crawler. A what? No. So there's a lot of robots in the internet that just goes around and collect information or just spam people, right? In order to make sure that the websites don't get spammed, basically if your bandwidth get overloaded, nobody can access your website. That's what robots do, right? So to avoid robots doing that, this is what they do. It adds a little bit of security in their site, saying that if you don't have a authorized header, I don't let you access anything. If you're not human, I don't let you access.
Now I understand what the code is.
Sorry, so this is a bypass, is it?
Not a bypass. You're adding the header. You're no longer bypassing. You're telling them this is me. That's what the header is. Yes. It depends because most robots don't have this. That's how it works. If your robot has all these header, right, it becomes chunky. It doesn't go around and spam people as quickly as you do with a header. Robots don't have. Most robots don't have headers. Okay. You just try it out. Anytime you are scraping a page, right? First, try it out. If you get an error, then you go to the page, whatever page it is, right? And add robots.txt after the base URL. Okay? So usually you get 503 error. Not any other error. 503 error is authentication failed, right?
inside here.
For example, just now we were using this site, right? Okay. Data.gov.sg. So we add robots.txt.
So this
And there you
switch.
see. So this is how the internet works.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. So next we will look at APIs. Alright. I prepared this file yesterday. So if you had downloaded before yesterday, you might want to re-download from the GitHub or do another pull request. Okay. So what are APIs? Right. Web APIs. API stands for application.
Programming interface.
Somebody.
Application programming interface.
There you go. Application programming interface. So most sites that provide data, they don't want you to spam their main site. So what they do is they provide you a gateway to their database to provide you with their data. And this is application programming interface, an interface for you to access their data that is segregated from their main site, right? So let's have a look. So most of these APIs have a very similar format, whether it's XML or JSON. JSON is a lightweight form of XML. Whatever XML does, it does exactly the same as JSON. Instead, XML has your angle brackets and a closed angle bracket, right? For JSON, it's just simply two curly brackets with a dot inside. They are both key value pairs, right? In your XML, you have your key within your angle brackets. JSON, you have your key in front of your colon. That's it. We'll take a look soon enough. So I made this up using our Malaysia Meteorological Department, have a little API. So what you do, go there and get a key. Everybody get a key now. Now.
Oh, this one. I think I have it somewhere.
Get your access token. Alright. Just do it. Takes you maybe 2 minutes.
I think I have it somewhere.
Okay?
Causing unnecessary load unit. This is the most unfriendliest form I ever seen. Okay, there we go.
Okay? Who has got your key already? Who's the
Yeah,
fastest?
I just got it.
Okay. This question, all you need to do is just put in your email address. And you know Malaysia government, they always want your IC. And then you'll get a link from your email just to authenticate your email, and then you need to log back in with your new password, and then you will see the key.
Okay, I got the key.
Okay. Once you log back into the site, the key is right on top of your dashboard.
Okay, got it.
Who got your key ready?
Yeah.
Yes. I got 1, 2, 3. Yes. Let's see a little bit more before I go.
duplicate all. It's realistic.
Okay, you need your key. Once you get your key,
How do I stick the key inside that? Copy and
Yes.
paste?
put it right here in between the two inverted commas.
Okay, good.
Okay. Got your key?
Yeah.
Good. Alright. So once you put it in there, of course remember to run the first cell. Import your JSON library. Run the cell that you put your key in. Now how does it work, right? Sorry.
Right, okay, for the streaming.
Okay, how does it work? So you can see that these are all the APIs. Right, so go ahead, look at the documentation. So what we will do is actually, this is the base URL. So basically everything that they mention from here onwards when they refer to adding, let's say, data endpoint, basically you add these onto the base URL. Right? Okay, basically tells you the documentation, you need a map token right in front. So that's why here your key, we add a map token space as requested. Right here, map token followed by a white space, very clear. Okay, always read your documentation. Otherwise you'll get 401 error. Alright. So what we want to do is basically get the locations, the stations, so to speak. So whatever information, it says here, not here actually, I think on the main page it says this, this token only allows us to get the general forecast, marine forecast, and the locations and stations. We cannot do the hourly observation. Okay? So in order for us to get the general forecast, so we take a look, general forecast. This here we need the location ID. So before we do this, we need to get the locations. So that's what we'll do. Okay? So set the URL, import the request library, and add in your header, your token authorization, and just retrieve, and that's it. This is what JSON looks like, right? You have your curly brackets. Each curly bracket is a key value pair, key value. Okay? So the funny thing about this is that there is a key value, but there is a open square bracket. So this is a list in Python. Okay, so first we pass this whole thing because this is a JSON object, pass it directly into a dictionary text. So for those who knows what's a dictionary in Python? Yes? Yes? No? Okay. Dictionary in Python looks like this. right? Looks like your JSON. This is a dictionary. It has a hash. It's a key value pair. It's a hash object. So that's why we pass the JSON and put it into a dictionary. So now that we have our dictionary, let me just get rid of that. Text. Sorry. Forgot the shortcut. Okay, and we want to retrieve the location IDs, because with the location IDs then only we can get the forecast. And voila. Okay. Kuala Lumpur is location 4. So now that we have the locations, we can get the forecast. This year I put the forecast into a Panda series, but you actually don't need to. So if you just put like so, create a dictionary. So this is how you create a dictionary object in Python, right? Just two curly braces. Do a loop, because your locations have two. You have your key and value. So for each key and location value, you want to pass it into your request string. Okay? This is your request string. You're requesting the dataset forecast, category ID general, and your location ID. You need to add your location ID and start and end. So let's try 20. So 20 is today. Get rid of the inter items. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to put this back because I'm not going to save us the trouble of presentation should work. Wait, let me debug this. Text results.
Too many values. Okay, go to the wrong way around. Another variable from somewhere.
Locations. Next result. Okay. Sorry about that. Just make a couple of changes. Change this to a dict. For locations, just put I enough because you're going through, you're looping through a dictionary here. Just I, and grab locations. I grab the forecast of locations. I. That's where you put in your ID. There you go. Okay. Just a couple of things. Change the dictionary, just I, and locations I. Very good. Okay, so that's API. Now you give it a try. Right? Give it a try. This here. This one here. Sorry, workshop. Disregard this one. This is for my Singapore network. So you just skip right ahead to your workshop. Same thing. Let's do something more fun. Go to developers, google.com, get a developer ID if you haven't got one. Get an API key. And try this out. Alright? I'll give you 10 minutes. 50 minutes.
That's a bit too fast.
Let's see how fast. Yeah, I think you probably just need 10 minutes for the JSON. Just do the JSON, forget about XML. I'll go through the XML later, but just do the JSON for now. Do you want me to go through the XML first? Okay, I'll go through the XML first. Then you see, for those who are more advanced, they can try the XML. Okay, for XML, it's exactly like JSON. Instead of curly braces, you have your anchor brackets. So let's try NEA. NEA is Singapore's National Environment Agency. Singapore is a lot more advanced in terms of their open data, so I try that one. This one, NEA returns an XML data, so we'll give it a try. So this one we'll try a slightly different way. We use URL-request-SR. And from LXML library, we use the Objectify module. And the API key is there. You just run it. This is my old API key. And if you'd like to have a look, you can take a look at the developer's guide. So this is what it looks like. Right. So it has all the information, la-di-da, and this is the string URL. String that you should be using, right? Replace this whole thing with the key, and then you can get the nowcast for Singapore. Let's try it. So we have that URL nowcast. Create the request and parse it. Very similar, but slightly more lines. You need to get the root. So if you just look here. What is the root? The root is channel, right? And all the key value pairs in between these is their children. So let's get that. So timestamp, if you notice, there, you see the timestamp? There, date. Where's the timestamp? It might be at the back. see a timestamp? Let's try the back. Weather forecast item. And then it should be there. I'm keep blind today, I can't find it. But yeah, anyway, forecast issue .get time. You see it? There you go. Forecast issue time. That's what I'm trying to get. Okay? And just run this. We iterate through the areas, and for each area we get the name, the forecast, the latitude and the longitude. Right? Name, forecast, latitude and latitude. Each item we have area, you see, forecast, latitude, longitude and the name. Okay?
Essentially a text.
Yes, it's all text. Yeah, that's how most of our internet works, is based on clear text. So you see all your HTML links are all in clear text.
Is there any way to tell whether the site is using XML?
Yes, you have to find out. Most likely, if you're using an API, there is an API developer's guide, right? Just now we saw, the meteorological data. It actually tells you that it's in JSON. Yes, you need to find out. Every time you go and scrape data, you have to do your homework. That you can't escape. You need to know where to get it. You need to do a bit of homework first. Yeah. There is no automation tool to find the data for you now. If you figure it out, let me know. But yeah. So even Google search, you search Google, you still have to browse through which link is the one that you want to look for. Okay. For APIs, most likely definitely find the developer's guide. It's out there. Okay. So now that I've tried it, now you can do it yourself. Try the workshop. This one is quite fun. So if you have done, you can do the Google places, you can try any of the APIs that Google provides. Give it a try. Do the JSON only if you are very chunky, then you do the XML. Yes.
Alright. Oh, shucks. No wonder. Okay, on to SNL. XML. Type Instagram. Where is that thing?
Alright. So let's go through, alright? Who has managed to do the JSON?
Yeah.
XML?
No, yeah.
XML is very tricky because it's not very clean. The return XML that Google has returned was not very clean, so you have to actually clean it up. But we'll go through it. Okay, so everybody have their key, right? So once you've got your key, very straightforward. Same thing, we import JSON, import request. Let me try this. Where is the menu? No. Okay. Alright. So let's try this again. Import JSON, import request. Once you have your key, right, just set the key. And this string here, this string first, the thing with Google Place API is that you have to get a location ID. Google put a location ID for every single tag of any place that people have tagged. You know, every single location, they put a location ID that is specific to Google. Right? So in order to find the ID, you need to first query. Okay? So you need to do a text search. Okay? Once you have your text search, right, obviously, because you are using JSON, make sure you put your output format to JSON and then put your query. Everybody got it here? Let's have a look at the text search. The link is there. Do you have this link? Okay, text search query. This is your text. It's like any Google search. How you do your Google search, if you put in a search into Google search, right, then you look at your URL on top, it's exactly what we are trying to achieve, right? So let's say if we don't want pizza in New York, why? We don't need pizza in New York. So let's say restaurants in KL Central, let's say. KL Central, right? And your key. Remember to put in your key. And let's try. Put in, send in your request. Receive an object. Let's see what the object gives us. Take text. Okay. Once I've loaded it, let's take a look. It looks like that. Okay, so this is all the results. The address, location, geometry, southwest, longitude, latitude. Now we get our restaurant. Restaurants in KL Central, we have Prime Steak Restaurant. What else? And so on and so forth, right? So we want to retrieve the name and the place ID. This is a Google ID they give to every single location around the globe. Alright, so let's take a look. So you have your restaurants. We want the ID and the name. Okay, so this is just a dictionary hash. We have your ID and name of each restaurant. Once we have a place ID, now we can get whatever information we want of that place, right? I'll let you try it out yourself. Now that you have your text search, you can use your nearby search or whatever you want to find. Whether you want anything else within that location, you have a longitude and latitude, and so on and so forth. You can try other stuff. I think place details is the one that requires a location ID. There you go, place ID. If you want any further details about that place, you need to have your place ID that is required. You can try that out. So next, let's have a look at XML. Because Google provides both JSON and XML, right? Now the XML is not very clean. I'll show you what I mean by not very clean. Right? Same thing. The only difference is that the output, instead of JSON, I put XML. Right? That's the only difference. Let's say this time around we go for restaurants in Kuala Lumpur. We create the request. And it has new line tags. So this new line and spaces within your anchor brackets will cause confusion to any XML parser. Right? If it's outside of your closing bracket, that's fine, they will ignore it. But if it's within your open and closing bracket, it gives an error. Why? Because it regards everything in between your open and closed brackets as your value. So it takes into account your end lines, your space, everything. So we don't want that. We don't want our XML parser to actually parse the end line, the new lines and the spaces. So we remove the new line characters. Be careful because this is a byte object and the XML objectifier only takes in a byte string, not a ASCII string. Byte string, so we replace with a new line with nothing. Okay? And now we no more new line. Now we still have to get rid of all the space. So for that, we need to use the regex. RE stands for regular expression. So for those who are new to regular expression, go and Google regular expression. Get tons of information. I won't go through into detail now. Just know that this is what I use to replace space with nothing. Now that we have all clean, much cleaner XML format, you pass it into Objectify, get the root, get the ID and the name, and that's it. Okay, questions? Okay. I think that's all the time we have. So I'll quickly run through, very quickly, run through Beautiful Soup and Selenium. For most of the web pages in Malaysia don't have such clean file download. Okay lah, some files you have file download. If you get a file download, you're lucky. If you get APIs in Malaysia, you are very lucky. I have a hard time finding any APIs that any Malaysia sites actually offer. Very few. So what happens is that Malaysia sites mostly have a lot of JavaScript. For JavaScript, you'll need Selenium. For those that are plain HTML, you can use Beautiful Soup. Okay? You can disregard that. That's just something. So Beautiful Soup is a Python library that allows you to parse any HTML page, and all complicated HTML page, parse it to you very easily. So what you need to do, you actually need to do an install of Beautiful Soup 4. And how it works is that you need to, after you install Beautiful Soup 4, the module is actually called BS4. It's kind of counterintuitive because most of our modules up to date, whatever you install is the name, right? Not so for Beautiful Soup. So be careful about it. So from BS4, we need to import another module within Beautiful Soup 4 called Beautiful Soup. Quite long, so I short formed it into BS. Okay. Same thing, use URL lib request. And this here we go to look at the dengue cases. Sorry. So it looks like this, a page like this. standard HTML page, but it has a lot of information. It has tables and such. How do you look at this? Let's say if I want the case reported by week, right? This is what I want to get. I want the week number and the number of cases. So if I do an inspect element, most of your browsers will have this. Do an inspect element and get the information. Okay? There you go. So this here is how you actually look into where you can grab your information from that page. Okay? So this here is content placeholder title C whatever. So this is the table ID that we are looking for. Okay, so we have the page.
And the question.
When we are inspecting the element, let's say if we have a frame on the page, are we able to get the data from the frame?
Yes. Now for frames, how does frame work? Right? Frame itself is one HTML page. You put it in nested inside another HTML page. You need to get the address of that frame. And yes, actually, even if you just have a top frame, you can. I'm pretty sure you can look through and down. Let's have a look at this one. Is this inside a frame? There you go. No, it's not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need to actually locate the HTML page of that frame, not the top. So if you do an inspect element, it'll give you the page link. Okay, does that answer your question? Okay. Alright, so let's build that page, and simply put, we just need to use PS to grab that tribute precision. Okay, that's because I haven't installed the HTML5 parser. Or you can use this XML, which we already have. Okay, beautiful. So we parse it now. Now that it has parsed the page, right? All these codes it has parsed inside. So how do we access it? Straight away we can just access it like so. Object oriented. Come to blank. Okay. Looks like it's blank. Thanks. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, each of it is an object. Each tag is an object. So what we want to find is the table of the dengue cases. So we get all the table, and we find one with the ID that I just identified just now. I use pandas because I like pandas, and I parse it. Oh no! Shows as an error. Okay. So just now, where will be? This one here, right? TR, PD, Korea. Oh, there's a break line. Things like these. Find more TRs. Find more table rows. Returns a TR. Let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, There we go. Okay. And I've got my data. So that's how Beautiful Soup works. Sorry, let's go. Next, let's have a look at Selenium. Selenium is formed with JavaScript. So just now that page you saw that it's a static page. It doesn't have any JavaScript inside. It has lots of animation and stuff like that. In Malaysia, they love their pages with lots of animation. So you probably need to use this at some point. Sorry. Where was I? Okay. So for Selenium, again, you need to install it. You need to install the module. This one, I'm using the weather.gov.sg. If you want to take a look at the page, it looks like. Okay, the other thing is that for Selenium, you need to actually download a driver. What is a driver? A driver it acts like a browser for you. It drives your web page. It goes from one link to another. That's how JavaScript works. You need to actually have some action for you to jump from one JavaScript to another. You need to click on links, right? So that's why you need actually a driver to actually do that clicking for you to get you to the information that you want. So there's different drivers out there. There's your Gecko driver is for Mozilla. Chrome driver, of course, is for Chrome browser. For this one, I use Phantom.js, which is a more nondescript driver. It doesn't have a specific browser in mind, so it's called Phantom JavaScript, Phantom.js. So we have our link. So again, we need to download, use Beautiful Soup from Selenium, import WebDriver. Sorry, I don't have driver. Okay, because this is not my laptop. My laptop is actually this one. Sorry, I can't show you. But okay, let's give it a try. So you need to actually download the driver. So what we are looking for is this one, binary object. I'm just going to paste it here. Okay, this is the driver. So this is the driver that I'm using. Now that I have my driver, I need to install Selenium. Okay, so once I've installed Selenium, I will be able to run this. Okay, let's give this a try. Let's try this again. does it work? You need to have the web driver, as I mentioned. Now that I've installed Selenium, import web driver. I use the web driver to run Phantom.js. If you are using Chrome, this here will need to be Chrome. So that's it. What I mean is your web driver, if you're using Chrome, you need to use Chrome. Right? And add the executable path like so, right? And if you're using Mozilla, what was Mozilla again?
Gecko driver.
Okay, cool. Don't have. That's Chrome and Firefox. Okay. And do this. Okay. If you don't want to use SQPath, it's fine also. Make sure that your downloaded binary object is placed in a path, executable path, right? Whatever path directory you have, you can put it there, then you don't need to put in this. Okay, so put it. Support it. I'll leave that for now. And the driver will get the URL for you. Oh, good. Yay. And if we look at the page, let's take a look at how the page looks like. Okay. So this is how the page looks like. For these, why we need, because you see we have a lot of clickable objects. Okay, and so on and so forth. So we need to choose a station, let's say Chai Chi, and then display, click display. And then only we have XML. Where is CSV XML? Don't have one. That's the rainfall, sorry, yep. So let's inspect element. Got it, Admiralty, inspect element, there you go. So you need to click before you can get to the station ID and the rainfall value, 0. Okay, that's how you do inspect element. Okay, so now that we got that, we want the 30 minutes rainfall. Using Beautiful Soup, I got the timestamp, and I need to do a regular expression of the pattern. Most web pages, when you go through Beautiful Soup, you have to do somewhat of a pattern because it's always not fixed. You want to go through every single element that fits that pattern. For this one, I want to fit the pattern strong. This one here, strong. I know that this name is within these 2 tags, so I look for that tag. Get this up free. Get the 30 minutes rainfall, get the 1 hour rainfall, and so on and so forth. The 2 hours rainfall, grab the information, last 24 hours, again get the information. Now that I have all that information, I put them all together. And ta-da! Right? Yeah. Questions?
Rather than going to the strong and everything, can you just use Xpath?
Choose what?
Xpath.
What?
I mean, Xpath is the one that directs you to the pinpoint location. of the element. Rather than going to the strong and then go inside,
You mean for XML?
even for scrapping,
Scraping.
just now we go to the strong and then we select for the specific ID, right? We can use XPath to straight away go to the ID. Is that way better or is this way better?
It's whichever way
No,
that,
no.
that is
Okay.
easier for you.
So you're talking about just now that I mentioned using the Objectify.
No, this one.
This one.
Yeah, the strong thing. Because we already know the IDs of
No.
the station, right?
How do you get this? It doesn't show. You see, all the other stations are not showing. Right? You want to clear the results, right? Okay, so all these, right? This is JavaScript. They built this image, all these words, right? This monitor, this here is built using JavaScript. So without a driver, this here is blank,
Correct.
right? Without having a driver, this here blank. So you need a driver to get to this information, and then you extract your information using your XML if you like. You can do that.
Actually, what I want to say, if you can go to the code, and scroll for the part of the strong. Okay. The part, the strong.
This one.
Yes. Rather than going to the reject strong and then you go inside to the specific station, right? If
The
you have
station.
the station ID, right, which is S103, right?
Yeah.
If
Okay.
I use XPath to straight away go to this station and track the data based on this
I can't read. How do you spell your
XPATH.
If you know your ID beforehand, then you can do that. But most of the time, you might not know your ID. The ID that you're using.
Right. Okay. The reason why I'm using the path here is because, yeah, they actually populate this within the text strong. The text strong makes it bold, right? That's all. Yeah. If you can grab to the JavaScript information, but most websites don't allow you to access those information, right? They display on the page, then only you can extract it. That's why I use regex, because this is the tag, right? The item, LI, the location item. I only want the name. I don't want the strong. That's why I use the regex.
I think you can experiment. If it works for you, you can try
Yeah.
that. Sometimes they change the look of the website, and then you have to change your regular.
You definitely
or you need to change your XPath identifier. So whichever works for you, you can use it. But sometimes, like this one is embedded inside LI. You may have several strong inside LI, and then you just need to pass the element. I think XPath is just the XML structure, the HTML structure.
Yeah, this one it's actually embedded with JavaScript, so it's not pure HTML. So using this one you can use this for pure HTML. But if you have JavaScript in your HTML, you'll need to use Selenium. Okay, all right, that's it for you today. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for listening so attentively.
Okay.
Of course, you can always go back to the notebook
The
and
code.
try it at home. If you have further questions, you can always ask each other or ask myself. So as always, just practice more, and then you'll get the hang of it. Right? Okay, thanks everyone. Give yourself a clap. Okay, I think we will continue to have our Python sessions. So just watch our Facebook or LinkedIn to get notified on other Python sessions.
That was a piece of the Salasin.10 podcasterium. It is hoped that you have enjoyed it. If you have any issues, please feel free to leave a comment through any of the channels. That was a piece of the Salasin.10 podcasterium. It is hoped that you have enjoyed it. If you have any issues, please feel free to leave a comment through any of the channels.